Nick Tammaro here for the In the Money Media Network. We have a ton of content available in advance of Saturday's Belmont Stakes and Friday's Belmont Eve card that's absolutely stacked from start to finish. Be sure to check out the website, inthemoneypodcast.com. Included among that content is my daily Naira analysis, which is available for free. We do have a lot of content of the plus variety, in addition to plenty of free items available too. I'm going to take a look at the 20-cent pick six that spans the 2 days, 3 races on Friday, 3 races on Saturday. It kicks off on Friday with race number 7, which is the True North on the main track at 6.5 furlongs. Firenze Fire is likely to be a pretty solid favorite in here. There's a little bit of discussion at this point about trainer Kelly Breen not wanting to run him on a wet track. We're expecting a little bit of weather tonight and into tomorrow, so do keep apprised of that weather situation. We'll see if Firenze Fire ends up starting. I don't really like him. I like looking at Bikinis and Fat Man both, who I think are going to offer some value and I think have win credentials. I thought Fat Man spent the majority of the Churchill Downs on a dead inside, at least in the early part of the Churchill Downs card on Kentucky Derby Day. Looking at Bikinis as a horse that hasn't always classed up to graded stakes competition, but I thought he ran exceptionally well last time in a slow-paced race and looks to be in position to take a step forward, getting back into tougher competition. We then move on to race number 9, which is the New York. This is the best race of the weekend in terms of stakes. A deep and competitive field of 12, set to go 1.25 miles. I think you're going to have to go deep in here. I'm going to use, among others, number 6, Civil Union, who I felt like, in going back and looking, ran a terrific race in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, and I think she needed her last start. The Bogey was a race that was run at a very slow early pace. She ended up making a big wide move around the far turn before flattening out a little bit late. It's just like trainer Shug McGahey to use that as a prep and have her in position to improve now, second off the bench. Race 10, the Belmont Gold Cup. I think Baron Samedi is a horse that you can lean on very heavily. This is a horse that you're going to want to single and multiply that ticket as you end up punching it in. He just looks a lot better than these horses, and quite honestly, this field is pretty weak from top to bottom. Moving on to Saturday's races, we get started in race 6, which is the Jaipur, a field of 11 with the MTO included in that now field of 12, going 6 furlongs on the inner turf course. There's no speed in here, and that really works in the favor of number 6, Bound for Nowhere. I also like number 8, Gregorian Chant, coming over from California for trainer Phil D'Amato. This horse has rallied stoutly into slow paces in pretty much all of his recent starts, and I think is in position to run quite well with a bit better setup. Even though this race isn't loaded with speed, I think Gregorian Chant can be somewhat forwardly placed, and that will help mitigate what kind of run he has to make into that slow pace. Race number 9 is the Met Mile, going a mile, of course. Nick's Go is the headliner and the horse that all are going to be looking forward to seeing if he can get back to some of those good performances we saw at the end of 2020 and in this year's Pegasus World Cup. He faltered a bit in the Saudi Cup after setting a pace where he had Charlatan pretty much attached to his hip. There's no Charlatan in here. And Nick's Go is a horse that, breaking on the outside, looks as if he'll be in control of the pace from the start. I'm going to use he and Silver State. I think Silver State is interesting at a bit of a price. This is a barn that obviously knows how to win this race, having won 2 of the last 3 Met Miles. This is a horse that also has a nose for the wire. He's going to have to improve from a speed figure perspective, but I think the one-turn configuration might be exactly what he's wanted all along. Moving on to the Belmont Stakes, which is race 11 on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go 2 deep and use number 3, Rombauer, and number 4, Hot Rod Charlie. I think Hot Rod Charlie figures to get an excellent trip from a pace perspective, either setting it or just off of Rock Your World. The fact that he can be forward is a major, major asset in the Belmont Stakes, where horses with speed generally excel. And Rombauer is still a bit of a stranger. I think he's a horse that has a tremendous amount of appeal, having stepped forward the way he did in the Preakness, and it looks to me as if he can take another step forward, potentially in the Belmont. That's the 2-day pick 6, 20-cent minimum. It gets started on Friday afternoon in race number 7. Be sure to stay right here on the In the Money Network for all the content available Belmont Stakes weekend. Best of luck.